Hello, Julie here and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's layout is for the May cyber crop at Mystical Scrapbooks. I'll put a link to the crop in the description box below. This particular challenge is to scrap a holiday or travel layout. It can be a weekend away or, like me, a holiday overseas from when we could still travel freely. These photos are from a cruise I went on with part of my family. The papers I have used are from Basic Grey Serenade paper range, and a link to those products will be below also. I'll also be using some chipboard from Memory Maze called Follow Your Dreams and a piece of turquoise coloured plain cardstock. Okay, to start I'm going to cut a 1-inch frame out of the board, out of this turquoise cardstock. So I'm going to start 1 inch in, cut from 1 inch to 11 inches and then do that all the way around so that I've got a 1-inch border and a 1-inch frame, and I can reuse the centre of this cardstock on other areas of my layout. Next I'm going to take this pattern paper, which is called Dowager, and I'm going to cut that down to 11.5 inches square. Now I'm going to take my Versacolour black ink cube and ink around the edge of the pattern paper and then use double-sided tape to attach that to my turquoise coloured frame. I want the pattern paper to sit centrally, so I've got a nice even border all around. I used an emery board to file around my photos and then I inked around them with the same black ink cube I used previously. Now that my photos are ready, I'm going to use double-sided tape to mat them with the middle of the cardstock that I cut out of my background frame. I've got about a 1/16 inch frame all around each photo. Time to start work on my layout. The paper I've chosen here is called Shilling, and I chose it because of that zigzag pattern on it. I'm going to cut along the edge of that pattern to create that zigzag shape. I'm going to put this piece behind my photo, so now I'm going to work out how much I want to show above and below my photo, and once I've decided on that I'm going to then cut the bottom edge out with the same zigzag pattern. Once I've done that and laid my photos on top, I decided that I wanted more of a feature. I selected the paper called Parlor and I traced the zigzag pattern from the paper that I'd already cut onto that apricot-y coloured paper called Parlor. Then I laid my multicoloured piece on top of it and allowed 1 1/4 inches, which would give me 5/8 of an inch top and bottom, and then traced along the bottom edge of the previously cut piece, and cut that piece out too, so that I ended up with a nice apricot-y sort of border, about 5/8 of an inch on the top and the bottom of my zigzag paper. I inked the edge of both pieces of paper once I had them cut. I attached one layer on top of the other using double-sided tape. I wanted to add a little bit of something to the background, but not to block out the pattern of the paper that was there, so I used my Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist in Black Magic to just add a few splatters. Off camera, I added some craft foam to the back of my photos and to the back of the zigzag panel. I used art glitter glue to attach the foam to the back of the cardstock, and I'm also going to use the same art glitter glue to attach these panels to my background. The photos are attached centrally on that panel. I decided to add the first piece of the zigzag pattern paper that I cut off, so it's got the straight edge of the pattern. So I'm going to attach that at the top of my layout. I have inked around the edge of it and now I'm using glue to attach it. I'm going to work on my chipboard now. I'm using Memory May's Follow Your Dreams chipboard. I'm going to use 3 of the pennants and 1 little talking bubble. I have got some acrylic paint called terracotta from many years ago when I used to do ceramics, and I'm going to give each of those pieces of chipboard a coat of that colour. It matches really well, or blends really well, with the apricot-y sort of colour in the pattern paper. The speech bubble doesn't show here because I didn't decide to use that until later on. I used my Kaisercraft uppercase alpha dies to cut my title out of the plain cardstock. I inked the edges of each of the letters and then I used my art glitter glue to attach the title above the photos. So this is where I decided that I wanted to use the speech bubble, so I've gone ahead and painted that using the same paint that I used on the other chipboard. The little pennants that I painted with the terracotta coloured paint looked a bit plain, so I used this Carl punch, tiny little heart, and I punched that out of the turquoise cardstock, and now I'm going to just attach that to 1 heart to each of those pennants. I'll then attach my chipboard pieces to my layout. So the little speech bubble is going to go on the top right hand corner of one of the photos. That's just telling us what's actually happening that day. So we were on a tour of the lagoon, and the pennants are going to go up in the top left hand corner. For a little bit more detail and a bit of shine, I'm going to give the hearts on the pennants and the title a nice thick coat of glossy accents. This goes on sort of like a milky colour, but when it's dry it's clear and has a lovely sheen. So that's my layout for today. I hope you've enjoyed watching the video, and I hope you'll join me when I have my next video up and ready to watch. I will put all the details in the description box below, so please, if you're interested in checking out this cyber crop, click on the link and it will take you straight there. It's good fun. There's another challenge. I think there's another 2 challenges, so check that out. If you're not already a subscriber, I'd love it if you would subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.